بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. Continuing from the book Al-Mushawwiq, we're on page 73, chapter regarding باب في ملازمة الكتب حضرا وسفرا وحملها على ظهورهم في رحلاتهم. The chapter regarding how the scholars would always be with their books, whether they were residential or traveling, and even they would carry them on their backs whilst they were traveling, due to not having a ride or a camel or a caravan with them. And in this chapter is quite short, but it's very profound. We don't really have that issue of having to carry stuff on our backs. We have bags and we have cars and we have Amazon Prime that comes to you the next day, sometimes on the same day if you do it in time. Whereas here, if you look at the ulama rahimahumullah, how they were with their books and how they would travel, because they used to travel sometimes for one hadith, they would travel for months. So imagine whilst they're traveling, they're not going to travel and just by themselves with nothing and waste that whole month of travel. So for example, Ibn Tahir al-Maqdisi, he says, بُلْتُ الدَّمْ في طلب الحديث مرتين. I was bleeding, blood is coming out of me. Why? Due to me seeking knowledge twice. مرة ببغداد ومرة بمكة. Once while I was in Baghdad, and the second time while I was in Mecca. Okay, now how did this happen? He says, كنت أمشي حافيا في الحر فلحقني ذلك. I used to have to walk barefoot. I didn't have sandals or shoes. I used to walk barefoot in the scorching heat, and that caused my feet to bleed. وما ركبت دابة قط في طلب الحديث. And I never mounted an animal. So all that traveling he would do would be barefoot, walking, not on a camel or on a horse or anything like that. وكنت أحمل كتبي على ظهري. And I used to carry my books on my back. وما سألت في حال طلب أحدا. And with that, I never asked anybody for any help. كنت أعيش على ما يأتي. I used to live upon whatever came to me. Ad-Daghuli, he says that there are 4 books that never leave me whilst I'm traveling or I'm residential. No matter where I am, you'll see 4 books with me. And he mentions 4 books of the ulama. He mentions Kitab al-Muzani and Kitab al-Ain and the kitab called Tarikh by Imam al-Bukhari and other books as well. Abdul Qadir al-Ruhawi, he said regarding Al-Imam al-Hafiz al-Hasan ibn Ahmad al-Hamadani, he said he used to love, كان عفيفا محب المال. He had no interest and no love whatsoever when it came to wealth. باع جميع ما ورثه. Everything that he inherited, he sold it. وكان من أبناء التجار, and he was a son of wealthy businessmen. فأنفقه في طلب العلم, and all that money he got, he spent it just to seek knowledge, traveling, buying books and so on. حتى سافر إلى بغداد وأصبهان, until he traveled until Baghdad and Asbahan. مرات ماشيا, and he would do it a number of times while walking. يحمل كتبه على ظهره, while carrying his books on his back. There's another story of some of the scholars that they were traveling, and whilst they were traveling, they saw, you can say, like a massive tent or a number of tents and caravans and so on. So they were thinking, okay, what's going on here? Is it somebody's set up a business? Is it something going on? Is it a program? So they went inside and they found a sheikh in there. فَسَأَلَهُ بَعْضُ عَنْ تِلْكَ الْأَحْمَالِ. So they asked him, they saw a sheikh, and they said, okay, what's all these tents that you got with me? He says, هَذَا مَتَاعٌ قَلَّ مَنْ يَرْغَبُ فِيهِ فِي هَذَا الزَّمَانِ. These are some pleasures of this world that very few people try to attain in this time. هذا حديث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. These are full of the ahadith of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, full of books. Ishaq ibn Mansur rahimahullah, he had heard that Imam Ahmad had retracted some of his statements, because the fatwa of the ulama, just like all of our opinions, as we grow older, they change. So Imam Ahmad might have said something earlier on, and then years later, he might have changed his opinion on certain issues. So he had heard that Imam Ahmad had retracted on a number of different issues. So what Ishaq ibn Mansur did is that he gathered all of those issues that he had heard that Imam Ahmad changed his opinion on, carried all of them on his back, and he traveled all the way walking to Baghdad, whilst the books were on his back, just to meet Imam Ahmad. And then he showed Imam Ahmad everything that he had written, all the issues that Imam Ahmad had changed his opinions, and he asked him, is it true that you changed your opinion here? And he wanted to make sure. فَقَرَّ لَهُ بِهَا ثَانِيًا. So Imam Ahmad agreed, yeah, this is what I changed and this is what I changed. وَأُعْجِبَ أَحْمَدُ بِذَلِكَ مِنْ شَأْنِهِ. And even Imam Ahmad was shocked that he had done all of that just to, it's not even a hadith, it's the fatwa of Imam Ahmad, but just to authenticate it. He did all of that. And alhamdulillah, next week, as you know, we're starting classes in the Masjid. We've got 3 classes, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Arabic and other sciences as well. And I'm not asking anyone to walk, for a whole day with books on their back. Nor am I asking anyone to do it barefoot to start bleeding. Nor am I asking anyone to sell all of the inheritance that they've earned just so you can buy the book. But this is an amazing opportunity for anyone who's serious, who wants to learn about Islam, to attend these lessons. And as the Prophet ﷺ, he said, طَالِبُ الْعِلْمِ فَرِيضَةٌ عَلَى كُلِّ مُسْلِمٍ. Seeking Islamic knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. That's Ibn Majah, authenticated by Al-Albani. So this is something which is an excellent opportunity that we will be asked about on Day of Judgment. Because if it's an obligation, that means we have to do it. And if we don't do it, then we're sinning. So alhamdulillah, these classes are starting from Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And what we've done as well is that each of the 3 days is a different book. Tuesday is one book, Thursday is a different book, and Saturday is a different book. The reason for that, even though ideally I would want to do one book and just finish it quicker, but the reason we've done that is because I know some people are busy. They can't maybe commit to 3 days a week, or maybe they can't commit to 2 days a week. So at least this way, at least minimum everyone should be committing to at least 1 day a week. Right? There's no excuse. And especially the Tuesday and Thursday ones, they're free anyway. Right? So there's no excuse, inshallah. So it's an excellent opportunity. And like I said, as we advertised before, that this is one of its kind, these type of lessons and the syllabus that we have made. And inshallah, if somebody sticks with the syllabus, then in a few years' time, he'll have a solid foundation when it comes to Islam. And he'll have similar amount of knowledge to somebody who studied in Medina, inshallah. Because knowledge isn't restricted to a place or to a time. As long as a person works hard and is sincere and takes the correct route, then inshallah he can attain those high statuses as well. Just like the 6 scholars who wrote the books of hadith, Bukhari, Muslim, Abu Dawud, Tirmidhi, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, all non-Arabs. It's not conditioned to be Arab or to necessarily study in a land of the Arabs. Even though, especially now, maybe Medina would be good. And it's better if somebody does have the opportunity. But just because somebody doesn't, it shouldn't be something which prevents us from learning. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us beneficial knowledge. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the Quran and prove for us on the Day of Judgment, not against us. Subhanakallahumma hamdaka, la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. And there's also some refreshments in the other room, so please enjoy yourselves.